How am I supposed to live now? I want to talk to you today. We're going to talk about a philosophy of living after work and a decision about how you are going to live the years that are ahead of you, even if it does not look like how you imagined it. Welcome to the Retirement Navigator podcast. My name is Kwame. It's been 5 months since I recorded the last episode, and you're probably thinking, what took me so long? Well, I have been preparing for today. I wanted to reimagine this podcast to go deeper on a particular problem that I have been trying to figure out for a long time. In my countless conversation with seniors, including surveys that I have conducted, I have come to learn that the retirement that a lot of older adults are living right now is not the retirement they imagine. There have been a lot of surprises along the way. There has been some big moments along the way. There's also been some challenges that have come with this stage of life. And so when I am talking about creating a retirement podcast and calling it Retirement Navigator, I want to mean it. And I wanted to take this in a different direction because most of the conversation we have about retirement is about numbers. We talk about Social Security, we talk about Medicare, we talk about 401k, we talk about, how to have a meaningful retirement, where to live, etc., etc. And don't get me wrong, all those things are important, and we're going to talk about that on this podcast. But there's a question that keeps coming to me in our community, the Senior First community on school. If you are not part of that community, I want you to go and check it out. This is one of the cornerstones of what I'm going to be doing with older adults going forward, is building community of belonging. And so one of the questions that have been coming up in our community is a question that people ask themselves. And I'm sure that you watching this podcast episode have asked yourself in those quiet moments when you are reflecting on your retirement and you've soaked in all the things that have happened, whether you've just retired or you have retired for quite a while now. And in those quiet moments with yourselves, one of the questions that get asked and has been asked at me and I have been pondering is this: how am I supposed to live now? Now, if you have done everything that you were supposed to do, work 35, 40, 50 years and save the money, you have checked all the boxes, and you still find yourself feeling a little smaller, a little slower, and wondering if this is all there is to retirement, I want to talk to you today. We're going to talk about a philosophy of living after work and a decision about how you are going to live the years that are ahead of you, even if it does not look like how you imagined it. So my goal with this podcast and the broader work that I'm going to be doing is to help you live these core principles that I'm about to share with you. And at the core of it is this: retirement is not a withdrawal from life. And it is a decision about how you will live the years that you still have, even when those years does not look like how you imagine it. And the philosophy exists for people who did everything right and still found themselves in a place that is not so optimum. Now, this is not about hassle. The answer is not denial. The answer is not pretending that everything is fine. The answer is learning how to live this season deliberately, with honesty, with dignity, and forward motion. And that's what these 5 principles I'm about to share with you are about. Now, I want to make it clear. The principles that I'm about to talk about, the philosophy of the second act, is not another checklist or it's not another set of goals that is supposed to stress you out. They are not something you have to accomplish. They are ways of orienting yourself in retirement so that if retirement doesn't go according to plan, you still have some core principles that guide you to make the best of each moment. And each of the principles I'm going to share with you includes a permission line on purpose, because this stage of life does not need any more pressure. So if I share a principle, I'm also going to share the permission, which means that if that is not your reality right now, this is how you can make it your reality without feeling like you you have failed, because this is to empower you. So the first one, the first principle is you are not done yet. Now, this is not a demand. This is a reminder that your life currently, even if it doesn't look like what you expected, it still has weight. So even on the days that it doesn't feel that way, retirement doesn't have to erase you. The years ahead still counts. The people around you still need what you have to give. And the days ahead, you can rewrite that. And today does not have to be your final sentence. So you are not done yet does not mean that you have to do more. It means your life still matters, even now, even like this. Sometimes not done looks like building something new, and sometimes it just looks like staying. Both of those things count. And so I will be unpacking this in other episodes and bringing people on and sharing ideas on what it means to be not done yet, even when you have had a full career and now you are in the second stage of your life. What does it mean to be not done yet? There is so much more to live for, regardless of how you feel now. And I want to acknowledge that how you feel now is also valid. So that's the first principle. The second principle is closely connected, and that is that health is the first currency. Now, I want to be clear. When I say health is the first currency, this isn't about being perfect or starting over. It's about refusing to give up on your body and making sure that the system isn't making it harder than it is on you. So, what does it really mean? Well, here's a thought. It means that you don't have to be in great shape to honor these principles. You just have to stop treating your health like it's already decided. You don't have to feel like this is the body I got, it is over, it can't get any better than this. That might mean understanding that what your Medicare actually covers, what are some of the opportunities to be able to get things that will help you improve your health, finding movements that don't hurt. When it comes to exercise, a lot of the things that I hear from people is that I have limitations, and that is true and that is valid, but there is still movement that you can do that can incrementally help you to stay a little more healthy. It is managing pain better, or simply showing up to the doctor. That may be all you can do about making health the first currency. And health isn't a destination, it's something that you tend to every day with whatever you have. And so protecting your benefits is part of protecting your health. And that's one of the things that I talk about here is how can you maximize your benefits to help you maximize your health? They are not separate things. They are part of the same thing. So that is principle number 2. Health is your first currency. Now, as I'm talking, I want to hear from you in the comments how this is landing for you, because this is the work I have been doing for the last 5 months, and I want to bring it to you as the guiding principles of how I think about the philosophy of the second act, how you can live retirement in an intentional and in a meaningful way. The third principle is that purpose must be rebuilt, not remembered. I have it all here. All of that is written in my manual. So I have done a lot of work to put this together to make sure that I have a guiding set of principles that I'm going to help you with. So when I say purpose must be rebuilt, not remembered, this is not about replacing what you had. A lot of times retirement tends to feel like if I am, there's a level of guilt about what used to be. Now, what you built over decades of work is real, and it was real. And losing that identity was also real. It is a real loss, but you have to honor it. You have to honor the fact that you had a life when you were actively working, and now that you don't have that anymore, there may be a sense of guilt or grief or loss, and you have to honor that. But the skills and experiences and instincts that you brought to your work did not disappear when the paycheck stopped, right? You still have some of those. Actually, most of you have all of it. They just need to be channeled in a different direction. So, purpose in retirement is rarely louder than before. It's often quieter and more personal, but it's still purpose. And so, rebuilding doesn't mean that you erase what you had, it means you take what you've learned, who you've become, and what you cared about, and let it find where it lives next. All of the things that came before is equally important in helping you shape what is coming next. And so there is still purpose to be lived. It's just going to take everything that you have learned, experienced, internalized, and then channel it into something new. The fourth principle, which is dear to my heart, and I think that that is probably going to be one of the cornerstones of what I do in this work about Retirement Navigator, is community is a survival skill. The reason why we set up the Senior First community is as a result of what I'm about to share with you. Now, this isn't about being needy or weak. A lot of people feel like if they have to, connect with other people, then it makes them feel needy. It's about staying sharp. Community is about staying useful. Community is about staying connected, because that's what strong people have always done. What it really means is like, if you look at your life right now, you did not get by. You did not get this far on your own or by accident. You made decisions. You raised people, probably raised children. You probably nurtured, mentored people at work. You carried responsibility. The sharpest version of you stays sharp by being around other sharp people. And community isn't therapy, it is strategy. So you have to understand that at this stage, at this second season of your life, community is what keeps your mind alive. It gives you somewhere to be useful and makes sure no one has to figure this retirement or second act life alone. Now, I know a lot of you are independent, and so this may not be landing with you properly, but here's something I want you to think about. Independence and connection are not opposites. They work together, because even the most independent people still need connection with family, with their children, with their community, with their loved ones, with their neighbors, with people who care about the same things they care about. And so community is a survival skill, because even the most independent people still need that, because it keeps you sharp, which is needed at this stage, and it keeps you connected, which is a fundamental human need of connection. And so don't run away from community. And then last but not least, actually, the last one builds on all the four that I've just given you, is that forward motion is non-negotiable. We have to be moving forward. And let me share what I mean by that, because that may not land well with some of you. And so let's talk about it. Forward motion doesn't mean that you have to be fast. It doesn't mean that you have to be busy or exhaust yourself. It just means that you just don't fully stop, because the moment everything stops is when things begin to fade. What it really means, when I mean by forward motion is non-negotiable, is that forward motion doesn't have to look impressive, and there are simple tasks that you can do each day that counts as forward motion. Making breakfast when you don't feel like it is forward motion. Calling someone you've lost touch with is forward motion. Learning a new skill or a new thing is forward motion. You've probably been thinking about this whole AI thing that people are talking about. Maybe learning a little bit about what AI does and how it can answer some of your questions, or it can open your eyes to a whole new world, is forward motion. The principle is not about intensity. It is about not surrendering to stillness, to like everything stop, because rest is part of life. And I acknowledge that. But stopping forever is not. Then this is why forward motion matters. So when you look into your daily life, what can you do today? Even the little step you can take, maybe picking up all that laundry and putting them in the basket, is forward motion. Maybe doing the laundry today is forward motion, right? Maybe calling that doctor and refilling that prescription is forward motion. The things that we don't want to do that keeps us active, keeps us moving, keeps us accomplishing in our lives is what I mean. Forward motion is non-negotiable. So I know that this is not your typical retirement content, but this is the work that I have been called to. And a lot of retirement podcasts talk about rules, deadlines, penalties, etc. And that information matters. And we're still going to talk about that here. But that information alone does not answer the deeper question many seniors are carrying, which is the question that I mentioned earlier. How am I supposed to live now? And so these 5 principles that I shared, that one, you are not done yet. Principle number 1. Number 2, health is the first currency. Principle number 3, purpose must be rebuilt, not remembered. Principle number 4, community is a survival skill. And last but not least, forward motion is non-negotiable. These are going to be the guiding principles of my work going forward. And, here's why this all matters, right? It is all connected. So I'm going to weave the thread for you. The principles that I'm talking about here does not replace all the work that you've done up to here to prepare for retirement. But I weave them together so that it touches on how, when even on your worst day, you can pick up something here and move things forward. So everything I talk about, benefits, Medicare, Social Security, everything is to optimize your benefits so that it helps you protect your health, right? Your health protects your independence. Your independence supports your purpose. Your purpose requires community, and community sustains forward motion. It is all connected together. And so that is what I'm excited about. And I want to hear from you in the comments. What do you think about these principles and philosophy of a second act? And how did it land for you? How are you feeling right now in your retirement? And do you feel like, this second act, do you agree with me that you are not done yet and that there's still years ahead of you that still count, the people around you that still need you, and the community that you live in could still benefit from your skills, experience, expertise, knowledge, and just your life journey could be a difference in somebody's life? So that is what I wanted to share with you today on this first episode on the philosophy of the second act. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Share your comments below. Thank you.